Welcome to another edition of Self-Defense Across America. Okay, so we got some more defensive use of a firearm stories from this past week for you. And if you do not like home invasions, this is not the video for you because these are all home invasions this week. There were a lot of home invasions. So we're going to start in Humble, Texas, where we have a 39-year-old female. That's our victim. She was unharmed. And we have a 39-year-old male. It was her significant other that was killed, a former significant other, I believe, that was killed in this incident. A woman shot her estranged common-law husband to death after he reportedly forced his way into her home with a gun early Tuesday morning. This happened around 1 a.m. In the Atascocita Forest neighborhood in northeast Harris County. Gonzalez said there had been several police reports made in the days leading up to the shooting about the situation. Early Tuesday morning, the man is accused of kicking in the back door of the home and trying to get inside. The sheriff said the man had a handgun during the incident. The woman was detained at the scene and cooperated with law enforcement, according to Gonzalez. He said no charges are expected to be filed and the case will be presented to the grand jury. So this lady's having problems with her common-law husband, so someone that she just lived with for 7 or more years. And she apparently contacted the police, it sounds like multiple times regarding this event, or regarding the situation, and ultimately she had to take matters into her own hands to end the situation before this guy did something to her. And this is something, if you're a female, and a lot of females get the restraining order route, and a lot of times that doesn't work. Restraining orders are just pieces of paper. You really, if you're in situations like this, you really have to have the ability to defend yourself. And this story about this woman is a prime example of that. If she wouldn't have had the means to protect herself, this would be a completely different story right now. Okay, we're going to go to Detroit, Michigan, where we have an adult male victim who is unharmed. That's our victim. And then we have a suspect that was killed, and that's an adult male. And this is, again, we're doing all home invasions this time. A homeowner has shot and killed a man who broke into his house on Detroit's west side. The incident occurred on Monday, January 15th at 2:40 p.m. in the 18,600 block of Rutherford Street. Police say officials are questioning the homeowner who fired shots at the burglar. Oh, and that looks like that's the whole story. Not much of a story there. So this guy broke in and the homeowner shot him and killed him. And that was on the west side of Detroit. Okay, let's go to Paduka, Kentucky, where we have an adult male victim who was unharmed, and we have 2 suspects in this one. One's a female that was injured, and the other is a 32-year-old male, Keenan J. Martin, and he was unharmed. The Paducah Police Department is searching for 32-year-old Keenan J. Martin of Paducah and an unknown second man after responding to reports of shots fired on Saturday, January 13th. The police department is potentially offering up to a $1,000 reward to anyone with information leading to the arrest or indictment. The police department received a report of shots fired at 1:30 a.m. on Saturday. Officers investigated the scene but only found a damaged vehicle. The officers did not locate any victims until someone notified them that a woman at Baptist Health Paducah had minor gunshot wound. Using the description of the vehicle the woman arrived in at the hospital, officers were able to locate the vehicle near Paducah Timon High School. Martin was the driver, and officers detained him for questioning. According to Martin, an unknown person had shot at his vehicle. Martin claimed he could not provide any further details and was released. At the time of the investigation, officers on the scene of the shooting on Clay Street discovered that Martin and the woman that he was with broke into Martin's ex-girlfriend's home before the shooting. Martin destroyed several pieces of furniture and the ex-girlfriend's car window. According to the ex-girlfriend, a man nearby witnessed Martin's actions, exchanged words with Martin, and fired several shots at Martin's vehicle. The woman with Martin was injured because a few of the shots struck Martin's vehicle, resulting in her injuries. Since the incident, the injured woman with Martin was treated and released. Martin's ex-girlfriend was not injured. The Paducah Police Department is searching for Martin and the other unknown man. So this guy breaks into his ex-girlfriend's home and starts breaking things, and a neighbor, it sounds like, decides he's going to get involved and help her out, and ends up shooting at the car and injuring a female that was with Martin, probably his new girlfriend. So this is one of those things that I say in a lot of these videos, that women, you really need to know who you're dating, because these guys stay with you forever. I mean, if you're dating a normal guy, they go off. You break up, they go away, and you never hear from them again. Or maybe you run into them on the street somewhere, you exchange hellos, and that's it. But some of these guys, especially they're the bad guys that, girls always seem to like the bad guys, they stick around. And they're just, you might not be thinking about them, but they're still thinking about you. And you have to think about that, because you put a lot of other people's lives at risk when you bring these kind of people into your life. Okay, we're going to go to Quillin, Missouri. Our adult victim, it doesn't say if it's male or female, was unharmed. And our suspect, 37-year-old Darren Venneman, he was killed. A man was shot during an alleged attempted burglary, has died. At around 3 a.m. on Saturday, January 13th, Sheriff Mark Dobbs said deputies responded to a home on Strawberry Lane in Quilin for a report of someone shot. Deputies were told at the scene that an intruder tried to break into the home and the homeowner shot him 5 times. The suspect later identified as 37-year-old Darren Venneman of Chanute, Kansas, was airlifted to a Memphis hospital. The sheriff said Venneman died from his injuries on Tuesday morning, January 16th. He said the homeowner was not charged because he acted in self-defense. So again, another would-be burglar, robber, whatever you want to call him, has been removed from this earth and will not be harming anybody else or breaking into anyone else's home. Okay, let's go to Barbourville, Kentucky, where we have a victim that was unharmed and a male suspect, and he was injured. At approximately 7:41 p.m., Knox County 911 received a call of a shooting on Higgins Hollow Road in the Bimble community. Knox County deputies responded to the scene along with Knox County EMS. Detective Jesse Smith has determined that a male individual was attempting to gain forcible entry into a residence when he was shot by an occupant of the home. The individual sustained non-life-threatening injuries and was flown to a hospital by PHI, whatever that is, for treatment. This is an ongoing investigation, and more information will be released once it is completed. No arrests have been made in this case yet. Also assisting on the scene were Kentucky State Police troopers. So not a lot of real information on that story other than, someone broke into someone's house and was met with a bullet for their efforts. Okay, let's go to Newport, Tennessee, where we have our adult victim who is unharmed and our suspect, 33-year-old Trondre Hines. He was killed trying to break into this home. The Cobb County Sheriff's Office has released more information about what led deputies finding a man dead Saturday morning as they were responding to a possible shooting. CCSO initially shared that the deputies responded to the scene in the 300 block of Buda Road around 8:41 a.m. When they arrived, the deputies found one person deceased. Saturday evening, the sheriff's office identified the deceased as Tondre Hines, 33-year-old. Witnesses told deputies that Hines broke into a camper on Buda Road that was an occupied residence, the sheriff's office said in a release. The release continued to say that witnesses said Hines began fighting with the individuals in the camper, and as he started at one of the individuals, a shot was fired at him. According to the sheriff's office, the evidence in the case will be given to the district attorney's office for review to determine the circumstances surrounding the shooting. Hines' body was taken to the Knox County Regional Forensic Center for autopsy. Our patrol division and criminal investigation Division have worked hard to investigate this case. We want to thank the Newport Police Department for their response and assistance on this initial call, blah, blah, blah. So yet another guy breaking into someplace, and these stories could go completely different because you have no idea what this guy was going to do. You have no idea what his plans were when he went in there. Maybe he was going in there, maybe he was just going to steal $5 and he was going to walk away and everybody would be happy. But he walks in, he starts fighting, and he goes after the wrong person who happens to have a gun on him, and that was the last we heard of this burglar, and he will not be doing that to anybody else ever again. And again, if without the ability to protect yourself, most of these situations would have a far different ending. Okay, we're going to go to Sanford, North Carolina, where we have an adult victim who was unharmed, and our suspect, 30-year-old Phillip Howard Fortune, he was unharmed and arrested. So let's see, we got a man fleeing from Lee County deputies broke into a Sanford home in an attempt to hide on Friday. Narcotics agents arrived at the 1000 block of James Street to execute a search warrant when Phillip Howard Fortune ran away from the front yard towards a wooded area behind the home. Fortune continued running to Vance Street, where he broke into an occupied residence in an attempt to hide from agents. However, he soon fled that home as well after the homeowner confronts him with a gun. Fortune continued to run and was captured by agents. The incident was characterized as "Where's Waldo?" in a release from the Lee County Sheriff's Office. During the search of 1013 James Street, the Sheriff's Office narcotics agents located fentanyl, cocaine, marijuana, and a firearm. Fortune was arrested and charged with trafficking opioid by possession, possesses with intent to sell and deliver Schedule II control. Well, okay, a bunch of possession. It's all the drug-related crimes, breaking and entering into a residence as well. So he's got a bunch of charges there. Fortune was brought before the Lee County magistrate, who issued a $101,000 secured bond. So this guy should be staying in jail at least for some period of time. But he broke into a house. It's possible nothing would have happened and he would have left. But it's also possible that the police would have come to that house. This guy hiding in there, if the homeowner didn't have a gun and this guy's hiding in there, who knows what would have happened? So, I mean, again, this is very important that you're able to protect yourself, because this guy just randomly comes into the house. He didn't come in to break in. He came in to hide. But luckily, the homeowner was able to scare him off. Okay, we're going to go to Natchez, Mississippi now. Oh, we got a lot of suspects in this one. We got an adult victim that was unharmed. And then we have 3 suspects. Well, all teenagers too. 17-year-old Tayshon Holmes. He was unharmed but arrested. We got 15-year-old Jashon Jones, unharmed and arrested. And 16-year-old Robert Earl Smith. And again, he was unharmed and arrested. Adams County Sheriff Travis Pattern said the 3 teenagers who escaped from the Henley Young Patton Youth Detention Center are in custody. Oh, great. Okay, so these guys broke out of basically, kiddie prison. The sheriff said Natchez police received a tip just after 7:30 p.m. on Friday, January 12th, that the suspect's vehicle was on Brenham Avenue. He said the teens were in an abandoned home, which was surrounded by law enforcement. Pattern said the suspects, all 3 of the ones I just read, I'm not going to read them again, ran away and tried to enter a home on Gayosa Avenue. The homeowner fired shots at the teens. The two teens fled and were captured by authorities, and 1 teen hid under a car and was arrested by police. According to Patton, the teens face additional charges. Several law enforcement agencies from Mississippi and Louisiana assisted with the arrest. The trio appeared in court in Adams County on Friday. Their bonds were set at, $1.5 million each for armed carjacking and $1.5 million each for attempted murder. Wow, they do not want these guys to get out. Hines, although some do-gooder company or organization will probably try and get them all out of jail, because, you can't have them in jail. Hines County Sheriff Tayshon Tyree Jones said Smith, Holmes, and Jones escaped from the facility following a large disturbance around 11:30 p.m. on Sunday, January 7th. So they were out for quite a few days. They were out till the 12th, so they were out for almost a week. The teens are accused of carjacking in Jackson on Monday, January 8th. They allegedly carjacked a woman in Adams County later in the afternoon. Patton said the woman was shot in the back and neck. The victim was taken to the Merritt Health and her condition is unknown at the time. During the search for the escapees on Wednesday, January 10th, Patton and Tayshon Holmes' father, 47-year-old Shante Holmes, was arrested on unrelated outstanding bench warrants. His uncle, 47-year-old Sean Keith Holmes, was also arrested on So this kid gets picked up. They're looking for this kid because he escapes jail, and he ends up getting both his uncle and his father put back in jail because they had warrants out for their arrest. Okay, Patton said neither of the individuals are believed to be helping the escapees at this time. The trio escaped from the Henley Patton Youth Detention Center in June of 2023, but they were later captured. Wow, that read kind of funny. So they escaped in June, and I thought it said they escaped on January 12th. Wow, they escaped a long time ago. I thought when I first read that, I thought that the way it read that they escaped. No, they escaped in June. So they have been on the run for 6 months, over 6 months, depending on when the date of when they escaped was. Holy cow. So these guys, and then they break into a house and the homeowner shoots at them, and that's eventually what led to them being caught again. And hopefully this time with those huge, the bonds of $1.5 million, they don't give that to anybody for anything, and they each have 2 bonds of $1.5 million. So they each have a $3 million bond. They literally don't give that to anybody for anything. So they really want to keep these guys in jail. And they've been on the run for 6 months and apparently haven't done anything wrong, or either that or nothing that got reported to where they would have been caught earlier. But breaking into a home that the homeowner had a gun, kind of put an end to their whole ordeal, and they are back in prison where they should be. And hopefully after all this, they all get charged as an adult. We got a 15, a 16, and a 17-year-old. Hopefully they're all charged as an adult and they go to big boy prison and they hopefully learn a lesson. This is a weekly video, so if you like this type of content, hit that like button, leave your thoughts in the comments, and consider subscribing. And I'll catch you next week.